Hey everybody, it's Saturday night. This is a PNN pop-up. It's kind of late. I had a late day in Salem. It's getting to be that time of year that it's Halloween is in the air and it's only the middle of September. But anyway, it's good. I'd rather work than not work. I want to look at a few things, and one is the political violence escalating. I want to look at the energy of that and to see where this is going. I will repost a video that I saw of the permaculture lady who's out on the west side of the country. I think she's on the coast, the west coast. And sorry, it's hard for me to remember everybody's handle on YouTube, their YouTube channel handle. But there's not many named permaculture. So she posted a video and showed a video of a guy who was saying, what if this all works out right? And I know how much we don't gravitate towards that kind of conversation. I know, and inherently I know that, like, if I posted a video and the title was, everything's coming up roses, nobody would watch it. I know that's true. So I think that if we can change that, we're going to have things going in a really good direction. I maintain, although I didn't think it was going to get this bad out there in the country, I maintain that this is representative of a huge shift for the good. And the huge shift is, it's going to be so unbelievably ginormous that we won't even recognize ourselves as a human civilization after we've gone through this change. And I believe, and I've read about this too, I've read literature about this and listened to scientists about this. I believe that what happens is we become more energy beings, more spiritual beings, more high frequency vibrational beings, and the low frequency is just having a fucking fit about it. And we see it everywhere. Now, when we look at the whole assassination of Charlie Kirk's situation, what we see was, first of all, I just want to say about that whole thing, it wasn't as sort of simple as some deranged young guy who was online too much and got sucked into these groups, these domestic terrorist groups online. It's not as simple as he decided to get up on the roof because he hated Charlie Kirk because he was radicalized that way and shot a gun and killed him. It's not that simple, and we'll get into that more as it gets less risky to talk about it, and like where you're not under threat of having your channel shut down or whatever. But as more and more news comes out, like in the past I talked about Trump works for Russia, Russia meddled in the election and all that, and it was a long time later that people started talking about that in the mainstream, and we will see more of him being spoken of as a Russian asset. What I want to look at is the fallout, because there does reach a breaking point, and even though we know that we've reached it, or seemingly many times in the past, with violence, and then things change, I feel like that this is, and I don't think it's an accident that he was heading an organization called Turning Point, because I kept wanting to say I keep wanting to say now, this is a turning point. The ridiculousness that's coming out, like, oh, there was an assassination, so now let's attack one another, now let's start a civil war. It's just so off base. It's so like, what kind of mind thinks that way? Right? So we're going to look at 3 cards And, you know, also noticing that all the MAGAs that are still deranged and in the cult, including MAGAs in Congress, are starting to trip over their lies and just, they're not making any sense at all, even though they were attempting to make some semblance of sense. Now it's really just falling totally flat on its face because they're lying, going around in circles. I definitely intuitively feel that this is going to come to an end. It will be bit by bit, but it will come to an end. It's not sustainable. They have no defense. They have no defense when, you know, the MAGAs in Congress are like, let's take away all the health care. In what used to be the wealthiest country in the world, not too long ago, like less than a year ago. Let's destroy your company. Let's destroy farming. Let's destroy a significant segment of the working population. Let's ship them out to concentration camps. Let's send armed troops into the streets. It's just like, you think people are going to go for that for like longer than what we already have? Hasn't been that long, so keep that in perspective too. As far as the American people go, yes, this is the card of the challenge that makes us stronger. This is the card of we fight back, we take on the challenge, we fight back, and at the end we go, you know what? It was a slog and it was a struggle, but damn, in the end, we became stronger and we achieved our goal of saving our democracy. We lined it up, we made a plan, we organized, we refused to lie down and take it. And the King of Swords indicates we have strong people speaking out for democracy, strong, courageous people speaking out for democracy that lead the way despite all the death threats and everything else. There comes a time where the bravest among us don't care if they live or die. The cause is worth it. We were founded on that. There's a certain ilk, you know, there's a certain segment of the population, of any population, that when it comes to save the masses and maybe lose your life in the process, they have done that. You can think of many heroes throughout history. And for that matter, soldiers who die in battle for the cause of democracy, right? Thousands of them in Ukraine right now. World War II. You know, it's just, that happens. And then the big shift occurs. I'm going to pull 3 cards from the Nefarious Devious Moon deck. While I'm shuffling, I want to remind you that tomorrow's Sunday. It's late and I still have to write the church program, but it's fine. I do this every week. 1 p.m. Eastern Time, we have Church of Spirituality. So now is like the most important time to join with us spiritually as a group, as a virtual group. You know, all of you that enjoy the group hug at PNN, it's kind of like an hour-long group hug. It makes a difference. I think it is making a difference. We're holding the line energetically. So I'm going to pull 3 cards on Dumpy. You know, certain things stick in my mind after the Kirk assassination, and one that I can't shake is when Dumpy was asked on Faux News something about how he feels about all this, what's going on. He says, I couldn't care less. That'll never leave my brain. And also when he was asked how he was feeling, he must be really sad about the death of his friend Charlie Kirk, right? And he just changed the subject and started just bragging about the ballroom he's attaching to the White House. It's going to be bigger than the White House. I mean, it's bad. It's extreme. And all this turning a tragedy of an assassination into an attack on Democrats. And nobody can find a single incident of a Democrat inciting really like violence, like real violence. Do you remember when they tried to use, oh, well, you know, in the January 6th hearings, impeachment hearings, when they were trying to turn things like fight, fight, win, fight, you know, when we fight, we win, like just that sentiment of fighting to win your election, it means working really hard. And they tried to turn that around, the MAGAs in Congress, during the January 6th hearings, impeachment hearings. And they were showing clips of like Elizabeth Warren saying, we need to fight back. Oh, look, the Democrats, they're so violent. This has a shelf life. I know it's longer than we want it to be, but some things take a long time to expire. Maybe it's fermented, I don't know. Anyway, how's Dumpy doing? The 8 of Pentacles, the Knight of Cups, and the 10 of Cups. There's a lot of people around him that want him to be finished. I actually feel like the energy of the people that want him finished is getting somewhere. I'm picking up a lot of success in making a case against him. The Knight of Cups, the 8 of Pentacles, the 10 of Cups. He's very aware of how many people want him gone. As much as I hadn't gotten that in the past, I had felt that he's in a bubble and he doesn't know. Oh, he knows. He knows. Let's pull 3 cards about the Epstein situation and what's going to happen with that. I won't make this video too long. I was blabbering quite a bit, but long videos don't get very many views, I noticed. Okay, so 3 cards about we the people in the aftermath of all the tragedies that are happening. And there's a lot of stories to cover this coming week. Expect a video. Well, we'll have PNNs Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Expect a pop-up every day next week, because there's just going to be a lot going on. How we the people are doing. We've got to just, it's a slow slog. Let's not get judgmental about how long it should take and how short it should take. I think we have to just get over that conversation. That's like looking at a tree and going, would you hurry up and grow? That's really true. So the Temperance card, how we're doing on our democracy. I think that you may have heard that the MAGA Republicans are wanting to do a hearing to try to convince the public that January 6th was the work of Democrats. I know, it's bad. That's actually going to work in our favor because it's such a bunch of hooey that they're going to have egg all over their faces. The 4 of Wands. So I'm asking about our democracy. The 4 of Wands is not it falling apart. That's not a Tower card. So keep your thoughts on the side of we rebuild together, and it's a step at a time that we rebuild. And let's ask one more thing. Let's ask if this whole gun situation will budge in towards the direction of stopping the madness. I mean, I have this dream, this vision of people deciding to turn in their guns, and police stations all over the country offering like gun buyouts, or like the cops will buy your guns and then we can send the guns to Ukraine. That's my dream of how we deal with this. So the whole gun situation. There's a change coming. There's a change coming. This 5 of Swords reminds me of when Kathy Beale talks about Dumpy, something astrologically coming up for him, and it's kind of been going on, kind of pinned down like a butterfly being pinned down and not being able to fly. I know, I don't like to think of butterflies that way, but anyhow, I'm asking about the whole gun issue. It's coming to a change. And it's like, this is massive transformation on the gun issue. Enough of the deaths. There's a change. Dumpy is down. He has no power left. That's why he's so disgusting to the max. All right. Tomorrow, Church of Spirituality. I'll do a pop-up later in the afternoon tomorrow. And I'll upload it. Off the Ledges daily. So I do that in the morning, and then we'll do church, and then I'll do a pop-up later in the day from outdoors if it's nice out. And I'll see you soon. If you're watching this at night, good night. If you're watching it during the day, good day. And please hit the thumbs up. Please subscribe and consider joining, because you get lots of good fringe benefits with that. All right, namaste. Be well. Treat yourself well. Bye.